The Great Meadow Convertible. In the middle of a golden field sat a shiny red car with no roof. It was a vintage convertible that looked like a bright castaway among the tall daisies. Silas the Badger was the keeper of the car. He was also the main supplier of shiny trinkets for the meadow, keeping a large supply of buttons and keys in the trunk. One morning, a tiny mouse named Milo arrived with a notebook. "I want to convert this car into a juice lounge," Milo chirped. Silas was a bit stubborn and liked his car just the way it was. "The seats are too rigid for a cafe," Silas grunted, but he couldn't help but look at Milo's clever sketch of a tiny counter. Silas liked to lounge in the driver's seat and watch the clouds. He tried to convince Milo that the old engine was far too unreliable for such a big project. Milo just laughed. "I don't need the engine to work to amuse the butterflies," Milo replied. He had a way of making everything feel like a grand adventure. Milo brought a variety of colorful berries to the car. He believed everyone should eat healthily, even badger inventors. He squeezed a surge of sweet nectar into a tiny cup. Silas took a sip and felt very healthy indeed. The juice was the color of a summer sunset. They watched the busy industry of the bees in the nearby clover. "The freshness of the air makes the honey taste better," Milo noted. Silas was becoming more excited about the idea every day. There was a sense of excitement in the meadow that hadn't been felt in a long time. But that night, a terrible storm rolled in. The wind caused a bit of destruction, blowing the car's old leather seats and scattering Silas's treasures. The next morning, Silas let out a heavy sigh. "What a failure," he muttered, looking at the mess. He didn't even want to come out of his burrow. Milo wouldn't give up. He moved like a tiny surgeon, using a silver pin and a bit of string to mend the torn fabric of the seats. He was so witty with his stories that Silas couldn't stay sad for long. Milo knew how to entertain his friend while they worked together to fix the damage. Cedric, the headmaster of the forest school, stopped by. Cedric was a squirrel who acted like a lobbyist for the local birds, always asking for more birdseed. He had a very serious attitude, but when he saw the new juice bar, he gave a wide grin. "This is marvelous," Cedric exclaimed. They faced one final obstacle. A heavy branch had fallen across the trunk where the supplies were kept. Silas used all his badger strength to lift it. Milo helped by pushing gently from the other side. "Gentle does it," Silas grunted, and with a loud thump, the path was clear. The grand event was finally here. Despite the summer heat, everyone came for the celebration. Silas took a long pause to look at the happy faces. He didn't reply with words, but he didn't seem confused about his purpose anymore. He began to explain how he and Milo had started to take after each other, one brave, one steady. "I claim this juice is the best," cried a guest. They rarely had such fun, and Silas had to suppose that new friends were the best invention of all.